My curiosity is aroused by the concept of meeting fellow anthropologists, and being, at last, a subject, having always done the studying of others, on the other side of the desk, for the information. Puerto Madryn, winter. A bus ride takes me across the barren countryside. Small corrugated iron shacks. Naked children playing aimlessly in mud. They look up at the small and crowded hot bus and wave sadly. Suddenly the bus slows down and comes to a stop on a barren hillside. Low scrub brush and red dirt as far as the eye can see, in every direction. The driver announces there's a problem with the motor. The transmission is broken. Everybody has to get out and push. The bus is filled with old women, their heads wrapped in scarves. Some chicken farmers, an accordion band, and a few gymnasts. Riding the conveyor belt at Dallas-Fort Worth. The People Mover, a moving sidewalk upon which travelers stand, moving them from an arriving plane to a departure area, from the baggage check to the security points. A time to rest between the long, endless tracks of hallways, corridors, and concourses lined with shops, boutiques, restaurants, and departure gates. I pass by a collapsed traveler lying prostrate and exhausted on the floor, underneath the weight of suitcases and duffel bags. White-coated medical technicians with stethoscopes around their necks, pushing gurneys bearing other unconscious tourists, with their baggage piled up on top of them. IV slow-drip saline solutions velcroed to the side of their suitcases. Flying over the Tanganyika Game Reserve in a hot air balloon. My guide is a drunken Englishman from the old colonial school, dressed entirely in white. He has 2 flasks of port strapped to his legs. His nose is red and veined. He's driving the balloon in a very haphazard and dangerous way. We travel over a savanna mixed with low underbrush, looking for herds of wildebeest and zebras. Also in the gondola is Sister Mary Catherine from St. Abernathy. She has a good sense of humor and a sly smile. She, too, carries a flask strapped to her rosary. She plays with her beads, wears them as a necklace, sometimes piles them on her head, or puts them one at a time in her mouth, closing her lips and slowly pulling them out. The colonel has decided to remove most of his clothes and throw them over the side of the basket. He claims the natives collect his clothes and use them to make flags and scarves, which they sell to the tourists. Dancing in the streets of Rio in a samba club, making our way up the great Sugarloaf Mountain to ascend to the foot of the statue of Christ that looks over the city. I feel a sense of exhilaration, my heart bursting with joy. I'm wearing a fantastic feathered woman's mask, eyeballs on stalks, ears on springs, Pinocchio nose supporting a live tree limb filled with songbirds, and joyously dancing in high-heeled platform shoes and net stockings, gyrating my hips, a pair of soccer balls attached to my rear. In the royal suite at the Hotel Oriental in Bangkok, overlooking the great Chao River, River of Kings, I watch Nguyen Duc Lo, the slender Southeast Asian princess, slow-eyed and raven-haired, sing in the bar downstairs. The piano player is an outrageous, overweight Vietnamese queen, his cheeks rouged, his hair pomaded, his fingernails scrupulously cleaned and polished, wearing Chanel No. 5, a simple diamond name bracelet hanging from his wrist with the word Michelle on it. I observe his lisping speech, his slow-eyed glances from beneath mascaraed eyelids at the receding funnels of every waiter who passes by. Later, his impossibly long red fingernails claw my back as we make love on my balcony next to an overturned chaise lounge, a potted palm lying on its side, the dirt spilled out, a gecko running helter-skelter across its leaves, the floor littered with chipped ice from the cooler, half-eaten tea sandwiches, and crumpled stationery bearing the hotel's orange van logo. And when I open my eyes momentarily and glance down over the edge of the balcony, I see him, the piano player, wandering along the riverbank, looking lost and desperate, completely drunk, missing one shoe, part of his jacket ripped away, vomit on the front of his shirt. He seems to have sustained a blow to the side of his head. His cheek is obscenely ballooned, looks red blue from the distance, and I watch as he falls to his knees by the side of the river, and with the palms of his hands beats the surface of the water, shrieking incomprehensibly in Streak